Welcome, everybody. It's your girl, Delores, just a pink girl in my pink world, here on every social platform. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be reviewing and previewing everything in pro wrestling. Sorry for the voice. Your girl is still sick. She's fighting a good fight. But I wanted to be here for you all. So let's go to the slide. So, ladies and gentlemen, we over here on the Hit the Rope Studios podcast. So let's time. You already know what time for is it? It's time for review. Ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna start out with WWE. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I'm trying to get my voice back for y'all. WWE, we're gonna start out with Monday Night Raw. Ladies and gentlemen, Monday Night Raw took place on the 19th on Netflix, episode 1704. We had WWE's Intercontinental title match where Becky Lynch defeated Maxine Dupree. We had LWO, Dragon Lee, and Rey Mysterio, and along with Penta, defeat the Vision of Austin Theory, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul. We had El Grande Americano defeat Javon Evans by referee's decision. And for the WWE World Heavyweight title match, we had CM Punk defeat Finn Balor. I kind of enjoyed this show overall. J News, did you see this show and what did you think?
This was for Raw on Monday. Yes, I did catch Raw on Monday. From what I can recall on Monday, Maxine's match with Becky Lynch went the way that I thought it was going to go, unfortunately, even though I think Maxine should still be holding on to the Intercontinental Championship belt. Natalya did turn on Maxine during this match. So there was that. I wasn't even aware that LWO was still a thing. Now with Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio, along with Penta, they took on the Vision of Austin Theory, Bronson Reed, and Logan Paul. Old Grande Americano against Javon Evans had a scary moment in it because they crashed heads. There was a moment there where folks thought Javon had gotten a serious injury, but from what we know now, Javon seems to be okay. And CM Punk and Finn Balor was a very good match, as a matter of fact. It was a very welcomed match to see on Raw between those two wily veterans in the wrestling business and things of that nature. It put Finn Balor back in the light of being a babyface, a good guy, whatever you want to call it nowadays. And the match went off without any interference. So much props to those two guys. It was Finn Balor's home crowd. So you notice that Finn Balor was in Belfast, Ireland for this. And he had a lot of love from the crowd. His family was in the crowd. And after the match was over and CM Punk retained the championship, Finn Balor and CM Punk showed a lot of respect to one another. And Finn Balor soaked in that adulation from the hometown crowd. So outside of that, from what I can recall from Raw, that was all. And yeah.
Yes, that was I think this week overall was surprisingly good show, matches and stuff leading up to the pay-per-view with the show yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go on to NXT. Take J News to the back with me. NXT was episode 821 on the CW on the 20th. WWE NXT North American title match. Ethan Page defeated Elo LaFleur. These names, y'all need y'all to go back to simple little crazy names. Um, we had the WWE NXT title qualifying match where Shiloh Hill defeated Josh Briggs. We had the Vanity Project of Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes defeating Chase U of Cal Dixon and Ura Connors. We had for the WWE NXT title qualifying match, Shawn Legacy defeating LA Knight. And for the TNA Knockouts World Title match, number one contendership triple threat match, Zabruka, which is Sol Ruka and Zarya, defeated Fatal Influence of Fallon Henley, Elaine Reed, and the Kendall Gray and Ren Sinclair. Did you see this, Jay News, and what did you think?
I'm still in a flux with NXT for the time being. I know it's a transitional period, especially for the men's division and the women's division, for what it is to be at the I would say on the mid card and main event scene for both, being that they've had so many folks go over to the main roster. I mentioned that to say to open up the show, we had a debuting Elio LaFleur, formerly known as Ahel Blanc, out in France, against Ethan Page for what I thought it was going to be. Right, my expectation with them, with WWE giving Elio a a debut package for the previous weeks, and then debuting him on NXT. I thought they would just have Elio go up against one of their younger talents so that he can pick up a win here. But having him go up against Ethan Page, pointed out a couple of things to me. One, they're basically putting Elio LaFleur in the mid card to main event scene to see if he can float at the end of the day. Ethan Page, I feel, I don't know, man. I'm just not a fan, but it is what it is. The WWE trusts him to quote unquote break in their newer guys, and this was that match. Him being the veteran that he is in the industry, helping debut Elio LaFleur here. I didn't think it was a great match. I didn't think it was a bad match, but it went. So that was that. Shiloh Hill qualified for the ladder match for the NXT title and stuff like that. It seems like they're trying to push him there. There was a segment during the night where they had Jada Parker come out and cut a promo. She was interrupted by Blake Monroe, and it seems that they're continuing that feud. So they're pivoting Jada to be more of a babyface / good guy here in her new role on NXT against Blake Monroe, and we'll see as to how that goes for them. Jada definitely beloved by the NXT crowd. The Vanity Project are new to me. I know they've been on Evolve before, but never necessarily watched any of their matches. They were good for the most part there. The Chase U guys didn't look bad here in this tag team, but they need some work there in the tag team division for NXT as well. Shawn Legacy making more of a mark for himself here on NXT proper. He defeated Eli Knight in what was a decent match. And then this was a Knockouts tag team number one contendership match, not even for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, where we had Zaruka defeat Fatal Influence. I feel like this is where we'll finally get to see the breakdown of Sol Ruka and Zarya's relationship, being that it seems like Zarya is championship hungry. She always has that wide-eyed look when gold comes to when it comes to gold, should I say. And we'll see as to how that materializes in the next coming weeks and things of that nature. The girls from Fatal Influence look good. It's probably the best Lainey Reed's looked in quite some time in the ring. And I'm a fan of the Ren QCC. I love Ren Sinclair. I think she's hilarious. I think she's funny. I think she has a place in professional wrestling. And obviously everybody knows just how good Kendall Gray has been in the short time that she's been on NXT. So the girls from Ren QCC look good together here, but I hope that there's more for them coming in the future. I don't feel like they should be continuing to eat pins, especially Kendall Gray as a champion over on Evolve. And Ren's very talented, so I feel like there's more for her. There's more to come for her in the future. So that was my take on NXT this week.
Yes. Hey, Sophia, I think that is. I could be pronouncing wrong. But welcome, welcome, welcome on in. Um, also, if you're new to the Hit the Post podcast, I am desperately sick. So I do not normally sound like this, but I'm fighting a good fight because I love wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, on to the next show. Me and Jay News gonna go to the back, which out of the regular shows that WWE has every week, this show was the show for me. Okay. It was SmackDown. SmackDown was episode 1379 on the 23rd on USA Network. We had the WWE United States title match where Carmelo Hayes defeated Ilya Dragunov. We had a non-title match where Jade Cargill defeated Chelsea Green. For the WWE Tag Team title match, MFT, Solo Sikoa, and Tamatonga defeated the Wyatt Six, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy to win the championships. We had Nathan Frazier defeat Johnny Gargano for the WWE Women's Tag Team title #1 contendership triple threat match. We had Julia and Kiana James defeat Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair, and Lash Legend and Nia Jax. And for the last match of the night, Damian Priest and Trick Williams ended in a no contest. Hey, Miss Joy, how are you doing? Hope all is well. Love you, love you, love you. Janice, what you think of? Did you watch SmackDown?
Um, SmackDown was the lone show that I didn't get too much time with in the last couple of days. From what I was able to see highlight wise, Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov had a great match. They always have great matches together, but I don't understand the sense of having that match yet again on TV, since that match has recently happened in the last month or so. So I'm
I
not too.
know there was I think there was some things going on and a lot of stuff travel wise, as though they might have just decided y'all two here, y'all gonna put it on the banger match. Let's go. That
Oh,
wasn't even my highlight of the night.
Was it a
Because
was it a travel thing for them? Because I'm not sure as to where they
I
were.
know I know they were trying to plan for travel issues. So trying to use the people that they had immediately there. But because even I forgot his name. The announcer didn't make it because he was in another UFC engagement. So Stephanie had to do the announcing in the middle parts of the show because they didn't have anybody.
Okay.
So
If that was the case, then that's fine at the end of the day. As long as there was a reason for it, and it and it wasn't WWE creative being lazy, then that's fine by me. What was it? Jade Cargill, she defeated Chelsea Green in another match, which was repeated. So it feels like, from what you're saying, Dolores, they did have some travel issues with talent and things of that nature, because Chelsea Green had taken on Jade beforehand. Jade won here. Not necessarily a squash match, but at the end of the day, Jade still currently being the WWE Women's Champion. That was more or less a foregone conclusion. They are continuing the feud between Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace, because Jordan Grace was at ringside. Jordan Grace, after the match was over, declared herself for the Women's Royal Rumble. So it doesn't seem like Jade and Jordan Grace are going to have a one-on-one match going into anything, but we will see if Jordan Grace ends up winning the Royal Rumble and facing off with Jade Cargill, or if they actually give Jordan Grace a one-on-one match with Jade at the Royal Rumble. They still haven't decided on that, so that's something to keep an eye on. The MFTs winning the tag team championships. To be fair, I did not care. I haven't been into this MFTs versus the Wyatt Six program in quite some time, so good for the MFTs. And we'll see as to what the WWE decides to do with the Wyatt Six for the remainder, and if there's going to be any sort of progression with the MFTs outside of where they are now. Nathan Frazier defeated Johnny Gargano in a decent match, something I thought could have been better, but They're still playing up Johnny Gargano being this heel character with Candice um, at his side, and she interfered during the match, I believe, at one point, but Nathan Frazier was able to overcome that and actually defeat Johnny Gargano. So that was a big part of the show there. Not big, but that was a bit that was part of the show there, should I say. The WWE Women's Tag Team Title #1 contendership. The result of the match didn't make sense to me. Julia and Kiana James winning the #1 contendership triple threat match didn't make sense because just last week they lost a match. And they haven't really necessarily been built up to do much of anything. The match went well for the most part, from what I remember seeing highlight wise. It seems like they're trying to create some dissension between Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, which I'm not a fan of. I've stated it before and I'll state it again. I think this has been a breath of fresh air and a good thing for Charlotte Flair to be teamed with Alexa Bliss as long as she has been. And just to have one of the girls turn, no matter who it is, just makes for, stuff that it's just par for the course for WWE at the end of the day. They don't stick with stuff. They like to change stuff for the sake of changing it and not for the sake of it doing anything for talents. So there's that. If anything, if I'm fantasy booking here, I probably would have had Lash and Nia win just because they are a newer team. They seem to be gelling well, and it would be a breath of fresh air at the end of the day for the WWE universe in total as a whole. And it seems that the WWE universe are more behind, not behind in the sense of like fanfare, but they seem more intrigued and interested in Lash Legend and Nia Jax instead of Julia and Kiana James. So it's like I feel like the WWE is playing that old WWE game where they're not necessarily listening to their fan base or watching the reactions here. And then the Damian Priest versus Trick Williams match ended up in a no contest because we had a bunch of interference from the likes of Sami Zayn and I believe
Randy Orton. Everybody was a triple threat.
Randy Orton came in at one point, and this match was really more to set up what was going to happen yesterday at Saturday night's main event. So that was a good lead into Saturday night's main event for storytelling, for the storytelling component of it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get to Saturday night main event, I'm introducing a new show into the our platform. Mostly, I might need a lot of J News' help. But, ladies and gentlemen, the new show that will be appearing is something owned by WWE. It is AAA. They have a weekly episode showdown. And this was AAA on Fox, episode 2 last week. I forgot to tell you all about it. But it was on the 24th. We had the AAA World Cruiserweight Title 3-way match where Laredo Kid defeated Mini Vikingo and Octagon Jr. We had a AAA Latin America title match where El Hijo Dr. Wagner Jr. defeated Mecha Wolf. And for the AAA World Tag Team Title 4-way match, we had Picano and Psycho Clown defeated Nuevo. Am I saying it right? Nuevo.
It is Nueva Generación Dinamita, Forastero and Sansón. And I did not know that the Motor City Machine Guns were doing runs on AAA. And the Tokyo Bad Boys of Kento and Takuma.
Yes. I thought they showed the episodes on YouTube too. If you're in Latin America, you can catch it on Fox. But I think this was a good thing that they're getting weekly episodes, and I've enjoyed the first 2 that I saw. So looking forward to seeing more. Just putting you all on something new. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, on to what we watched last night with me. It was Saturday night's main event. I had to watch along. I appreciate everybody that came out. Also, shout out Pretty Heart, the Conqueror, the THA, if you're looking her up. She came on and did the watch along with me, and it was so much fun. Ladies and gentlemen, for the Cody Rhodes and Jacob Fatu match, we'll talk about that. It never got started, and they brawled around the VU until Drew McIntyre came. We had the WWE Women's Tag Team title match where Rio, which is Io Sky, and Rhea Ripley defeated the Judgment Day of Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. AJ Styles defeated Shinsuke Nakamura in the undisputed WWE title number one contendership fatal four-way match. Sami Zayn defeated Damian Priest, Randy Orton, and Trick Williams. Oh, my Ruby, I hope you feel better. I love you. Listen, y'all better go check out my friend Ruby's channel. She might not be over there, but she be having some good cooking over there. Okay. J News, did you see this? Wait, first of all, before I even start, the fact that Jacob Fatu and Cody was first, that I was like, what shenanigans is about to happen? But when the man said walk into the ring, Cody, you don't understand. I done came from EBT to WWE. I said, listen, this man got to win. Y'all got to let this man win. He been cooking for 2 days. He cooked on Friday with Cody. Now he burning them up. Okay, come on now. Because Cody lets you, he said he's like when they have the face-to-face interactions, they might talk over what should be said, but he likes for you to riff. And he let Jacob riff. And you can see Cody's face when he started talking about going to jail. And Cody really didn't have a good comeback for that. So I was waiting for this match, and I hated that how can a match be stopped before it's even started? That's crazy, Jadis. Jadis, what did you think about this?
I did not get to watch Saturday night's main event. I caught up with all the highlights and tried to gather the sense of what was going on online and what fans were thinking and what folks were thinking about the show in general. And it seems to be that Saturday night's main event from last night is being lauded as the best episode of Saturday night's main event that the new WWE infrastructure has put together so far. So I'll have to believe everyone as to what it is that they're saying. The Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu match never starting, like you were saying, Delores. That just sets up a multi-man match for later on between Drew McIntyre and Jacob and Cody Rhodes, maybe at Elimination Chamber or maybe at WrestleMania. Who knows? I'm sure there'll be interactions between all three of those particular parties in the next coming weeks, if not month, as that continues to bubble. You mentioned Jacob Fatu's backstage and promo segment with Cody Rhodes on SmackDown that we didn't mention while we were going over SmackDown, but I'll touch upon it here like you did. I thought that was probably the best I've seen Jacob Fatu in that element, right? Him doing one of the backstage things outside of coming to the ring. Very, very authentic. It felt very authentic. It felt very real. Props to Cody Rhodes as well in that segment because it didn't feel like your run-of-the-mill Cody Rhodes promo. It actually felt like it was coming from Cody. And for it to feel as real as it did, you got to give credit to everybody who was involved there. So credit to WWE, credit to Cody, credit to Jacob for that particular backstage promo bit that they did at SmackDown. It transferred over here to Saturday night's main event. The match didn't get started, but it's just to continue to build upon that fervor that seemed to be going around with the WWE universe, not only on SmackDown, and but also here on Saturday night's main event. So that was cool. So we definitely know that we're gonna get more.
I enjoy these walkouts from Jacob because one time he said he would. I think before a show he said he would whoop somebody's ass from coast to coast. I think it was on the first like Saturday main event. He really is like coming into this, and you feel the he's fighting to stay here. And I like it because even when he was coming, he was like, Cody, you don't understand? I went from EBT to WWE. Listen, from anybody who understood that, that meant I went from struggling. I had to ask for assistance to get food. So now I'm on national TV doing this with somebody who didn't have to struggle for this like I did. It was a moment where it was like, man, I hope that man win. You know, anybody who know me, I love my good brother Cody Rose. I scream for him every time he come out there. But this time I was like, Cody, you're gonna have to lose this one, man. Them fighting around the venue, even though I'm mad that I didn't get a whole full match, it still was good. We had an incident. Now tell me when the last time you seen this. They were throwing drinks out of fans' hands. They were Cody took a swig of somebody's drink and spit it in his face. They were going at it. Then Drew got in the midst of it and put both of them through the table. And so it was, they really brawled. It was like not that WWE fluffy kind of stuff. Like brawl, they did do the brawling in the like concession area, all of that. But it really wasn't like, oh no. I really thought at a certain point, I'm like, okay, y'all are fighting, like y'all are both at the bottom trying to get to the top. And you know how you put two people together and they're like, we're gonna make this where they can't deny us. That's what it felt like. And I also can understand that feeling from Cody because they say that it was pitched that he, you know, turned heel at Mania and dropped, you know, that's his transition. But Triple H had him drop the belt to Drew early. That didn't work too well with some people. So I can understand that feeling of, okay, I'm paired with Jacob. I see he's a good worker. I see he has a good promo. How about we just go balls to the walls and take it in? And it was good. I don't think, I know some people had conversations of the whole jail line that Cody said was that the reason why they did the promo um in his truck. I don't know, but I don't think anybody would have been that offended. I mean, we've seen far worse things said on WWE to opposite opponents than what Cody said to Jacob.
No, I
So
mean at the end of the day, that's part of the reason as to why they call it professional wrestling. I'm sure they talked about it beforehand. So you know, I it's well, there's a term for it in the age of social media or whatever. But for me, I'll just call it fake outrage. At the end of the day,
rage baiting.
yeah, it's fake outrage. It's rage baiting. At the end of the day, they probably had that conversation in the back about what Cody could talk about, what he couldn't talk about, and Jacob being who he is, understands what professional wrestling is about. And to Dolores's point that she was making earlier about Jacob Fatu, everything that Jacob Fatu was saying, what Cody said about Jacob Fatu, it just leads to a certain level of relatability to Jacob Fatu, letting people know that even if you do come from whatever sort of struggle you come from, there is a come up for you. So at the end of the day, Jacob is now fighting for himself to be at the top of this card and being in the main event scene, no matter whatever trials and tribulations and mistakes he's made in his life. And he's out here trying to do his best in order to continue to have a better life. So they're coming together, and I think this is definitely a good thing both for Cody and Jacob. So I think that like I said, we're going to see more of it, and I'm liking it so far.
Yeah, Pretty Hard to Conquer says, I think the storylines they are coming up with some great stories, and the heel part, I love it as well. Because Cody is acting more and more like a total heel,
Yeah,
like an a-hole.
yeah.
So
They're
it's
giving
about
him
time that it's a change. I don't know if doing it at WrestleMania would have, like, you can still do it, drag it out to WrestleMania, but we'll see. The women's match, I loved it. Absolutely love the Shinsuke Nakamura, AJ Styles, and them trying to do the some of the callbacks to. And somebody pointed out last night, Michael Cole. I don't think he watches a lot of wrestling because the man was like, when we said like the IWGP, he's like the WGP. I'm like, sir, it's just we can say the one word. You see, like you just read this off and you just didn't know what you were doing. But I overall enjoyed the match. They I hope next Saturday I'm not up in here in tears over AJ Styles losing his career. But and the
Yeah,
four-way was great too.
I think that it seems the WWE is playing with the AJ Styles retirement thing. I'm not too sure what the the real is about all of it. If he is really going to retire at the end of the month, or if he's not. Um, like I said, it seems to be like the majority of the fan base and wrestling fans really like this Saturday Night's main event show. I'd have to go back and watch it in its entirety. People were comparing the AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura match that happened last night to some of their work that they did together in New Japan, which was interesting. That WWE even mentioned New Japan in name during commentary, because that's not something that they're prone to doing. Especially
Well, I don't know. I
New
think
Japan.
because they're trying to get more people. I don't know if you heard last week that Jesus, I get mad every time I think about it. That Evil is supposed to be maybe coming to WWE.
Right. No, what I'm referring to is more to the line of New Japan Pro Wrestling is not a company that the WWE works with. So for them to
Yeah.
be mentioned on WWE TV is kind of odd to me. So we'll see as to how
Maybe
that
they're
goes.
trying to get a relationship. Maybe that's maybe they're trying to open a door there that they
Yeah,
have actively kept closed. And I know a lot of people were outraged with Shinsuke not being able to participate in that match. So maybe this is them trying to open a door. I don't know. I know
I'm
I
not.
enjoyed the match. And
Yeah,
I'm kind of
good match.
wondering if he does get retired next week. Does
Yeah.
he, because WWE and TNA are working together, does he go to TNA and do a little run there?
I'm not sure. I just like you, Dolores. I'm a little bit more on the side of I'm just wondering if he's really going to retire next week. It would be sad if he retires this early in the year. With how he's been moving around in the ring as of late and the quality of his matches, um, he still, to use his phrase, he still looks phenomenal. But
Mhm.
he did state that he didn't want to wrestle past 50. So that's his line. I know his birthday sometime in the middle of the year though. So
Yeah.
I'm not too sure
Maybe
if
they'll do like some shenanigans, go too far as a DQ, and then we run
maybe,
it
yeah.
back
We don't
again,
know.
maybe even at Mania, and then because my thing about it is post wrestling, I watched it last night, and they said something that struck me very much. If you had told me that AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura were wrestling and one of them would be retiring this year, I would have looked at this and said, "Oh, Shinsuke is about to retire." Not AJ. I would have never thought AJ out of the two of them because Shinsuke, if you follow his social media, he's enjoying surfing and having a good time. He and I think this, which I've seen a lot of people say, this is his best match so far. So I hopefully he has more opponents like this, or they just let him go and do what he need to do. But ladies and gentlemen, you want to say something about the last match, J News? Did you see the clip?
Um, Sami Zayn winning, I thought was the right move. I feel like Sami Zayn's still an emotional favorite for the WWE universe and their fan base. So him winning made a lot of sense there. Um, and Drew came out after the match was over and he tried to attack Sami Zayn and try to get a one up on Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn was able to thwart that away. Now Sami Zayn has his match at the Royal Rumble against Drew McIntyre, and we'll see how that goes. I think they're trying to see if they can reignite that emotional fervor that Sami Zayn had a few years ago uh, when he was doing the whole storyline with the with Roman Reigns and the Usos and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So I'm trying. I think the WWE is trying to tap back into that emotional, that sentimental, should I say, babyface reaction that Sami Zayn had back then. They're trying to tap back into it now, especially with how big of a heel Drew McIntyre is currently in the WWE space. So now him being that crowd favorite going up against Drew, I'm not too sure if the match will end cleanly at the Royal Rumble. But we shall see how that goes and how that develops, and if it'll go past the Royal Rumble. So we'll see how that develops.
Yeah, especially because Drew got in the midst of the Cody and Jacob fight. They could get involved. But immediately, as soon as I saw Sammy come out, I mentioned it pretty hard to conquer. I was like, this feels like when he came out in Saudi Arabia with, he's always dressed in attire. He gets big fanfare pop. And let's be honest, they kind of control some of the things that happen while their WWE is there. So I would expect for them to want to see him in this match. Whether or not he wins, that's the thing. He could win, and Drew just now is stuck in this three-way fight to get to the top again with Jacob and Cody, and that could be like a WrestleMania match or whatever. But because I think after February, March, they kind of slow down and get ready for WrestleMania. So we'll see what's happening. Yes, 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 pretty hot the conqueror. We're gonna go to the back. We're gonna go on to J News and I favorite thing because I like to see people fighting each other. It's the AEW All Elite Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna start off with Dynamite. Dynamite was on the 22nd, TBS HBO Max simulcast. It was episode 329, where Samoa Joe defeated Mike Bailey. We had a 6-man tag team street fight where the Death Riders of Daniel Garcia, John Moxley, Willa Yuta defeated the Don Callis family of Hechicero, Lance Archer, and Rocky Romero. With a non-title tag team match, FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood defeated Alex Price and Jordan Oliver. We had Kenny Omega defeat Josh Alexander. I enjoyed that. Megan Bain and Penelope Ford defeated the timeless love bombs of Mina Shirakawa and Tony Storm. And we had Swerve Strickland defeat Kevin Knight. J News, did you see this and what did you think about it?
Yeah, I saw Dynamite this past week. I would say another good show for Wednesday Night Dynamite for AEW here. The fans were really into Mike Bailey versus Samoa Joe. The 6-man tag team street fight. It was what it was. It was a fun street fight between the Don Callis family and the Death Riders. It seems like they're continuing to build on that feud between the Don Callis family and the Death Riders. So we'll see as to how that continues to materialize on AEW TV, be it Dynamite or Collision. I want to eventually see some one-on-ones between members of the Death Riders and the Don Callis family to see as to how that all is gonna break down and eventually end. The non-title tag match where we have FTR having a match versus the debuting on AEW TV, that is, of Busta in the Brain of Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. I thought that the tag match was good. I thought FTR made Alec Price and Jordan Oliver look like $1 million, and Alec Price and Jordan Oliver did exactly what they were supposed to do in making FTR look as good as they've always been. I know there was some backlash online over Alec Price and Jordan Oliver for some reason there. I feel like there is a part of the wrestling fan sphere outside of tribalism that just don't like to see new tag teams or new competitors come into the scene. Like, that to me is kind of ass backwards.
I know part of the timeline I was on, some people felt like they were too good to be jobbed out. Sometimes I feel like that too, because it's like
that's not what I got.
And the rest of that. I know the other side you saw, but pushing to the side that I was on, I can understand where it's like you see them and you like, oh my God, they're doing so good. GCW, they were like on fire over there. And then they come here, and a lot of times I'm watching them lose, or even when they were in ROH, catching strays over there. I would like to see them be showcased a little bit, but even if they go to ROH and win against like other tag teams, I would like to see them out a little more. But as far as the hate that they get, I think because people just don't like young people like that are like out there. The more out there you are, or the more like their characters are more like fun party time kind of people, not too many older people or people who like tag team wrestling. They like FTR style because it's old school. This, a lot of the flippity flop things don't work nowadays for people, which is crazy. I want to see more of that than I do the old school wrestling.
Well, it's all different styles, different preferences and flavors and all that jazz. But from what I was seeing online, it didn't really even have to do with style. It had to do more with their look, and then the people had stuff to say about their post match promos and stuff like that. And it was I'm there like reading in this commentary, and I get it. People are gonna hate. It is what it is. They're not gonna be for everybody, but at the end of the day, it's like, a lot of this stuff is really mean spirited for no reason. Like, it's 2026, and I get it. There is a part of wrestling fandom that still loves to see big, meaty men slapping man meat. That's great. There's time for that. But at the end of the day, these guys just came out or came off of the indies. They're relatively young. They're in their early 20s. Like, they're not going to be 250 pounds coming off the freaking, coming off the indies like that. But and the kids themselves, they're in good shape, and they're young. Give them time. At the end of the day, they're going to get better at their promos. They're not going to come into AEW polished. AEW doesn't have a PC. They don't have NXT. So these guys at the AEW signing, come either be it from a New Japan or come be it from the indies. A lot of these folks are going to grow into their characters. They're going to grow into eventually whoever they're going to be as they get older. So I feel a lot of that stuff is just mean spirited, is disingenuous. And for all intents and purposes, if you've ever watched Alec Price and Jordan Oliver wrestle on the indies and understand that their tag team name is Busta and the Brain, it's a play on the title of an animated show that ran during the 90s. If y'all don't understand that, like, to me, it's like, do a little research. Everyone has Google. You're on the internet. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the time when people are just posting shit, I was like, it's easier to find shit about Pinky and the Brain on fucking social media and on the internet. And Alec Price pointing to his dome, being the brains of the operation. Jordan Oliver being the brain, and Alec Price being Buster, aka Pinky, being the wild child. At the end of the day, it makes all the sense in the world. So it's like, let them cook. They just got there last week. Take it easy. You know what I'm saying?
For those women who are in the women closet, when they start being the Buster in the Brain on TV, my profile pic 99% of the time is the Pinky and the Brain, because I absolutely love that show, and it connects to people. Once you see it, you understand. I mean, no offense to anybody, but you have that one friend that is crazy and stupid, and you are the brains of the operation.
Right.
Everybody connects to that. Everybody connects to that.
Character play here. And like, that's why, to me, to see that kind of commentary online outside of the body shaming shit, which I think is fucking ridiculous at this point in time, at this day and age, should I say, in 2026, it's like, it's beyond me, man. They just got on TV. Give these dudes time. What's the big deal? Now, to jump on to the next match, Kenny Omega versus Josh Alexander. I agree with it's AOW, man. Alan said Josh and Kenny is an early candidate for Dynamite match of the year. I agree. They beat the crap out of each other. I've been waiting for this match since Josh Alexander got to AEW. We finally got it. Tremendous work from Josh and Kenny here. Kenny cut a promo after the match stating that he feels the best he's had in quite some time, which was a surprise to me after everything that they've been doing with Kenny for the last couple of months and things of that nature. So it seems like Kenny Omega is going to go through that Don Callis family one by one, so he can get his wins up as he also vies for a shot at the AEW championship. That AEW title scene is getting crowded, folks. We'll get into that when we get to Collision as well. But fantastic match between Kenny Omega and Josh Alexander. The women's tag team division right now seems to have taken a step back since the tournament has ended, and we've had Willow and Danny win the women's tag team championships. I feel like the booking's been a little strange there, so I feel like they need to get back on board with that. It might be that we'll see Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford end up getting title shots against Willow and Harley Cameron going forward. We'll see how that all materializes. But it was a decent match between Penelope and Bayne. Yeah, Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne against the Timeless Love Bombs. I'm not too sure as to what they're doing with Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa going forward. They're fun to watch, so I'm not going to complain too much about it. I just feel like the women's tag team division can be booked a bit stronger. And Swerve Strickland versus Kevin Knight, man. What can I say? These gentlemen, man, they put on a hell of a match. Swerve Strickland doesn't have anything to prove, but he also showed during this match how much of a ring general he is and how much of a leader he is in that locker room, even though if he, whether or not he's verbal about it or not, because he was able to get Kevin Knight. He was able to make Kevin Knight look like $1 million in this match. And Kevin Knight did his work to make himself look good, but he also made Swerve Strickland look good. So this was another terrific match during this episode of Dynamite, and much props to these two young gentlemen for putting on a hell of a main event. Another week of AEW great matches in a row.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, J News is coming to the back with me, and we're going over to ROH, which is Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor 151 on the 22nd. You can find it on ROHWrestling.com or the app. We had Adam Priest and Tommy Billington defeat the premier athletes of R.A. Daivari and Tony Nese. We had the 2-on-1 handicap match with Satnam Singh defeated Dante Leon and Josiah Jean. We had Crew, which is Action Andretti and Leo Rush, defeat Alex Price and Jordan Oliver again. We had Dalton Castle and Outrunners of Truth Magnum and Turbo Floor defeat J News. I know I must pronounce it right. Azui.
I have no idea who that is.
It
spells like it seems like Aussie, to be quite honest. Yeah.
Like we need another Chris Jericho reference. Gino Medina and Hit. We had ROH Pure Title Proving Ground match. Lee Moriarty defeated Matt Menard. MIT, Billy Starks and Diamante defeated London Dior and Rachel Ellering. We had Big Bill and Brian Keith defeat KM and Will Aldi. Sorry.
No, it's Will Aldi. Yeah, it's Will Aldi.
Mm-hmm. Listen, I wish we could just ChatGPT some real names that we can really do. Because sometimes I'd be like, why are y'all doing this? And then last but not least, we had Ace Austin defeating Johnny TV. I don't think we talked about this because it happened after we got offline last week. But for those who don't know, got their names. Just that quick. Brain fog. Came to AEW. Some of them premiered, one of them didn't. He said because of mental issues, he's going to take a step back. And then we found out that WB didn't want him.
Oh, you're talking about the whole situation with the Rascals and Trey McDonald.
Yes. Okay. And so he appeared, which we will talk about, and won the Feast of Fire match. And so he is now signed with TNA. So that goes into a lot of things. So the Rascals is now missing one of their members again, it just sucks. But this is how the things of wrestling goes. So just wanted to mention it to you all because I know last week we were mentioning about the Rascals coming back and how we were looking forward to that, but they will be missing one member. So did you see any ROH J News?
Yeah, so they're continuing the storyline with Adam Priest and Tommy Billington as a tag team on ROH TV. They took on the premier athletes there. They defeated the premier athletes. The storyline that I'm talking about is Jay Lethal turning on Adam Priest and Tommy Billington. Jay Lethal is now aligned with the Swirl. Post this match, I believe Jay Lethal and the Swirl came out and continued to run an attack on Adam Priest and Tommy Billington. So that's a storyline that's happening on ROH TV currently. Have nothing to say about the Adam Singh match. Crew getting a win over Busta and the Brain here works towards what's going to be happening in the future. Crew seems to be in line to be the first tag team match that the Rascals are going to have on AEW TV proper. AEW's actually been working to build towards the Rascals in-ring debut on AEW TV, something that they're not prone to doing. Which is a breath of fresh air for AEW in that sense. And I mentioned Crew here because Crew will eventually be that tag team that the Rascals end up taking on either on Dynamite or Collision. It seems like the Rascals are going to be on Collision though. So keep your eyes on that. And of the Rascals, who's going to be tag teaming together, it's going to be Zach and Dez and not Myron. So Myron might just be doing stuff on the solo tip for the time being on his side of things for the Rascals. So keep your eyes on that. Dalton Castle and the Outrunners continue to be their usual very entertaining and funny selves in their trios matches. Hopefully we get them on AEW TV and they'll eventually get a turn at the trios championships on AEW. They're old school in their way of bringing comedy into the wrestling space. So I find them entertaining for all that. Lee Moriarty versus Matt Menard for a proving ground match for the ROH Pure title. I felt like Matt Menard was out of his depth in this particular match. He has no experience with Pure rules, and I felt like it was just random that Matt had this match versus Lee Moriarty. But this was more for a setup for the post-match stuff. Matt Menard was getting beat on by members of STP, Shane Taylor Promotions, and then after Lee Moriarty beat Matt Menard, and then Top Flight or Skyflight, should I say, the team of Skyflight came out for the save on Matt Menard, so they're continuing that particular feud on ROH TV of Skyflight versus STP. MIT finally got a tag team win here. Billy Starks and Diamante finally starting to gel together as a women's tag team as they defeated London Dior and Rachel Ellering. I feel like Rachel Ellering's been on ROH long enough to have a consistent tag team partner. So TK, find someone that Rachel can tag with on a regular basis, please. So there's that. Don't really have anything to say about Big Bill and Brian Keith defeating KM and Will All Day. That was just more or less one of those, I wouldn't call it a squash match, but it was an enhancement match. There you go. It was an enhancement match for Big Bill and Brian Keith. And then Ace Austin versus Johnny TV was hella entertaining by two kings of parkour. So I just wanted to mention that about Honor Club.
Yes, J News is coming to the back with me. And we're going to move on to Collision, which happened on yesterday. We had Adam Page defeating Katsuyori Shibata, non-title match of Chris Statlander defeating Isla Dawn, Davis and Doyle, Jack Doyle and Mark Davis defeating Alec Price and Jordan Oliver. We had every time I say this, I want to say pro shitter. That's what the words that want to come out my mouth, and I know that's not right. Kenosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher defeated Austin Gunn and Billy Gunn. We had for the AEW TBS title match, Willow Nightingale defeating Julia Hart, Andrade El Idolo defeating Magnus, and for the CMLL heavyweight title match, Claudio Castagnoli defeating Roderick Strong. What did you feel about this show, J News?
I thought it was I thought it was another good episode of Collision here. Adam Page and Katsuyori Shibata to start off the show. I thought was good. This much like SmackDown on Friday was an emergency show. This episode of Collision was taped on Wednesday night due to all the weather happenings on the East Coast and in the South. Tony Khan decided to not have anybody travel over the weekend, so he decided to give folks who were there for Wednesday night Dynamite extra matches and a whole full blown episode of Collision. So they got their money's worth there. So whoever was in Orlando on Wednesday night and whoever was in the back for AEW talent was able to pull off this episode of Collision. Because they weren't going to be able to make it to Texas for their scheduled show of Collision at the esports arena or whatever the case is. But a good match between Adam Page and Katsuyori Shibata. Chris Statlander versus Isla Dawn. Another enhancement match for Isla Dawn on AEW TV. She's been on plenty of episodes of Dynamite and Collision and also ROH with the boys from the GYV. So keep an eye on Isla Dawn. I'm not too sure if Isla Dawn has been properly signed to AEW. GYV has been, but I feel like Isla Dawn is talented and she has her own her own unique character. So I feel like she can be a good addition to the women's division, but that's going to be up to Tony Khan. Davis and Doyle did their thing as they beat the crap out of Alec Price and Jordan Oliver, and they used Alec Price and Jordan Oliver as human crash test dummies in this match, and that was fun to see. Alec Price and Jordan Oliver, they get it. They knew the assignment in this match and they ran with it, and it made Davis and Doyle look fantastic. After this match, we had a back and forth promo bit between Don Callis and members of FTR as a team. Stokely Hathaway and FTR in the backstage area and whatnot. They cut their side of the promo. Then Don Callis had some stuff to say to them in the ring. So that went about there. Proto Sheeta looked okay against Austin Gunn and Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn here filling in for Juice Robinson, which is something that I was afraid of. It seems like Juice is hurt again. So he wasn't able to make it to Collision here due to the fact that he was injured. Juice lives in Florida in the Orlando area, so it's not like he couldn't necessarily physically be there due to travel restraints, but Juice is injured. So Billy Gunn filled in here. Rash of injuries for the Bang Bang Gang. Obviously, as you guys know, Jay White's been out for a while. Colton Gunn's still out with a knee injury, and now Juice is out, and Austin Gunn's out here by himself. I believe also, because folks were asking online about where was Ace Austin. Ace Austin was not in Orlando for Wednesday night. He was not able to make it in from where he currently resides in Ohio. So that's why Ace Austin wasn't there to tag with Austin Gunn for that match. Willow Nightingale and Julia Hart. I saw some different things from Julia Hart in this match, which I was not necessarily impressed with, but I thought that this was something that was needed for Julia Hart. More of the menacing taunts, the talking, her just talking shit to Willow and wanting to win this match and having more intensity to her and things of that nature. So good for Julia Hart there, playing up the character, playing up the toxicity, if we want to go there, against Willow Nightingale in their match. There also wanted to mention that Julia Hart's stablemate, the leader of the Triangle of Madness, the Toxic Spider, Tekla, she cut a promo after Chris Statlander's match against Isla Dawn. So we're going to get that one-on-one match between Chris Statlander and Tekla on this Wednesday's episode of Dynamite. So I'm looking forward to that. Andrade El Idolo had a one-on-one match versus Magnus. If folks don't know, I'll say it now. I watch a lot of CMLL myself as a fan of Lucha Libre and stuff like that. Magnus is probably one of my least favorite luchadors out there. So I thought this match Yeah, Andrade did the majority of the work here, and he was playing up his real Latin man character a lot during this match. It seems like he's really tapped in to something here. Not anything new, I would say. If you're a lover of old, not old, 90s lucha libre, AAA lucha libre, you might recognize what Andrade El Idolo is doing. It's very akin to Latin lover type stuff. And during the match, Andrade actually went out to ringside. There was a very, should I say, vivacious and busty young lady in the front row. Andrade went up to her to take a selfie, and then proceeded to put his phone number in her cell phone. So it seems like we're playing up the real Latin man thing here with Andrade. I thought it was funny, but he defeated Magnus without issue. Andrade Lidolo continues to look great. I mentioned earlier during the Dynamite portion of the review that the men's world title scene is getting a little bit crowded. That upper mid card scene, Andrade El Idolo is adding himself to that scene. He cut a promo before the main event of Collision. I'm sorry, he cut a promo before the main event of Collision where he challenged Swerve Strickland to a match on Dynamite. So it's going to be Swerve versus Andrade El Idolo on AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. I expect that to be a fantastic match for AEW and Andrade and Swerve, and putting Andrade in that sphere of the upper mid card and the main event scene, I think is a good thing. They need more. They need more new faces, more new blood in that particular scene, and adding Andrade to it is only going to help in that regard. So there's that. Also wanted to mention the backstage promo that the members of the Rascals cut. It was an unofficial yet official episode of the Treehouse. They were basically letting the AEW world and the wrestling world know that they're going to be facing off against Crew soon. As a tag team, they'll be debuting on AEW TV. They played, I think it was like 6 or 7 rounds of rock, paper, scissors, where Myron Reed and the boys always shot the same piece. Myron lost, so it's going to be, like I mentioned, Zach and Dez as a tag team going forward. And Myron, I feel like Myron might be better suited to be going up against the likes of Ricochet in that national title scene, or Mark Briscoe in that TNT title scene. So we'll see as to how TK Tony Khan starts to build that. Then the CMLL World Heavyweight Title match. I mentioned this to a friend of mine last night after watching the episode of Collision. This match was bowling shoe ugly, to quote the good old JR. But they did what they were supposed to do in this match, that being Claudio and Roderick Strong. Even though it was ugly and gritty, they had a war inside that ring. Very good main event between Roddy Strong and Claudio Castagnoli, as Roddy continues his war against members of the Death Riders. Claudio retained his CMLL World Heavyweight Championship there. They had the ceremonial photo op before the match, as they usually do for CMLL and on New Japan as well. Tony Khan came out there. He held the CMLL World Heavyweight Championship with the referee and everybody who was there along for the ride of the match. So they added to that very well, and keeping up that tradition for the CMLL World Heavyweight Title match. So like I said, the match was ugly, but it did what it was supposed to do, and it was a good end to an episode of Collision.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, J News is going to the back. So we're going to talk about TNA, Total Nonstop Action. Well, actually, it's TNA Thursday Night Impact, 11/23. It's on AMC now. On the 22nd, Cedric Alexander defeated Moose. We had Indy Hartwell defeat M by Elegance. We had the Feast of Fire match where Eddie Edwards, Eric Young, Steve Macklin, and Trey Miguel defeated AJ Francis, Brian Myers, Matt Warner, Jason Hotch, John Schuyler, Rich Swan, Ryan Nemeth, and the Hometown Man. We had Jeff Hardy defeat Mustafa Ali. For those who do not know about the Feast of Fire match, you have the opportunity to either get in the match to be a number one contendership, or you get fired. Okay? So as goes, The first person who has briefcase number one is Eric Young. Briefcase number two is Steve Macklin. Briefcase number three belongs to Eddie Edwards, and briefcase number four belongs to Trey Miguel. These will be revealed on the episode that comes out on the 29th before they have the triple threat match. So good luck. I hope, because I would hate Trey for you to be the next one fired again. Okay? You just got back. So I don't think you're gonna get fired. But I was shocked that these were the options for one of them to get fired. I was very shocked. Because I was like, I can see the fire at AJ Francis or Brian Myers or anybody, but Trey Miguel just got here. Steve Macklin has been killing it. Eric Young, you can and cannot do without him. So that's a wobble. And Eddie Edwards, if you fire him, where is he going? So that was it. But did you see any of this, J News?
No, I didn't watch any of this. I'm for folks who are tuning in for the first time. If y'all don't know, I do not watch TNA. It's not my thing. At the end of the day, I'm happy that Trey got re-signed with TNA. At least he has somewhere to work. At the end of the day, I know there's been a movement online. I know a lot of wrestlers from. I know a lot of AEW talents have had said their piece via social media about the situation with Trey Miguel and things of that nature. But he's working, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So that's the most important thing. And he got his shot here in this Feast or Fired match, and he showed out, and that's the most important thing that I gathered out of this episode of TNA on Thursday night. From what I gathered from the fan base, this seemed to be a much better episode than what their premiere episode was, and that is also a positive and a plus for TNA going forward on AMC. Yes. Outside of that, I don't got much of it.
I wouldn't say drastically better, but it was better. It wasn't so like glitchy. Like yesterday, my live was a little glitchy, but that's because I can't control it. Y'all were glitchy, and like literally, I see the cameraman moving around and he's shaking the camera. That was too much for me. Ladies and gentlemen, J News gonna come to the back with me. We're gonna go over GCW, ladies and gentlemen. You know what GCW had yesterday? A crime wave, ladies and gentlemen. GCW Crime Wave 2026. We had Teriyaki defeat Gavin Ash. We had Cowboy Way, which is one Kyle Manders, and Thomas Shear defeat the unsigned and don't care of Anakin Murphy and Gary J. We had KJ Orso defeat Sashi Blackheart. Listen, I'm tongue tied and sick at the same time. Excuse me, y'all. Death match. Matt Tremont defeated Brick Savage for the Jersey J Cup 2026 qualifying match. Vendador. J News word right now.
It's Vengador.
Vendador. See, I tried J News. I was almost there. Defeated Samurai Del Sol. We had Gringo Loco defeating Effie. Boo. We had Jordan Oliver defeating Oro Anand. And for the GCW World Title match, Atticus Cougar defeated Priscilla Kelly. I wasn't ecstatic about this show, but I did like bits and pieces of it. Okay.
Was this the show that Priscilla Kelly posted up on her vlog where she got stuck with the skewers in her head?
Yeah, I think that's
okay. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, they don't care about if you're a woman or a man. You get it all the same way. The death match, also GCW is hardcore, so you always gonna get the hardcore matches. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're on to J News' favorite part of the show: New Japan Pro Wrestling, Blue Justice.
It was Blue Justice 17 that took place on the 18th of January. It's basically a Yuji Nagata produced anniversary show, as they do on a yearly basis. We had the Ichiban Sweet Boys of Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles defeat Tiger Mask and Zane J. Yeah, I'll talk about Zane J when we get to the Road Two shows. The Unbound Co of Daiki Nagai, Oscar and Yuto Ice defeated Katsura Murashima, Master Wato, and Yo via referee's decision. House of Torture members Doki Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, they defeated El Desperado, Masatori Yasuda, and Ryusuke Taguchi. TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. Defeated Bishiman, Hiroki Goto, Yoshihashi, and Tatsuya Matsumoto. Team 150 of Satoshi Kojima, Taichi, and Tomohiro Ishii defeated Shoma Kato, Shota Umino, and Yua Uemura. United Empire's Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, Great Okan, Jake Lee, and Jacob Austin Young defeated the Unbound Co of Gato, Hiromu Takahashi, Shingos Kagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji. And then we had Aaron Wolf along with Oleg Bolson, Toriyano, and Yuji Nagata defeat House of Torture members Dick Togo, Evil, Renarita, and Yujiro Takahashi. On to the Road to New Beginning shows. This was the show that was on the 19th, which was last Monday. We had the Young Lion Cup's first round match. Masatori Yasuda defeated Tatsuya Matsumoto. Then we had Daiki Nagai defeat Zane J via DQ. The DQ happened because Zane J went a little crazy. And Zane J blasted Daiki Nagai with a chair to the head with some motivation from young Callum Newman. So it seems here that Zane J is now affiliated with the United Empire, and Zane J now has a brand new attitude going forward. He's healing it up, y'all. He's healing it up. Zane J, the newest member of the United Empire, as he continued to wage war on the Unbound Co here, as he lost his match via DQ, even though he seriously put the beats to Daiki Nagai. Aaron Wolf, El Desperado, Master Wato, Toriyano, and Yo defeated House of Torture's Dick Togo, Doki, Evil, Renarita, and Yujiro Takahashi. We had the United Empire's Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, Great Okan, Jake Lee, and Jacob Austin Young defeat the Unbound Co of Gato, Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji. Sho defeated Kosei Fujita via DQ. As we know, always shenanigans happening there with the House of Torture. Yoshinobu Kanemaru defeated Robbie Eagles. For the Never Openweight Six-Man Tag Team Championships, we had a title change here. TMDK had recently won the Never Openweight Six-Man Tag Team Championships back at Wrestle Kingdom 20. And here we had the Bishiman team of Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi along with Oleg Bolton. They now are the Never Openweight Six-Man Tag Team Champions as they defeated Team TMDK. And then for the IWGP Tag Team title number one contender match, we had Shota Umino and Yua Uemura defeat Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii in what is being considered the tag team match of the year so far. It was a great tag team match between Shooter and Yuya against Taichi and Tomohiro Ishii. Big Tom back at putting bangers on TV for New Japan Pro Wrestling. On to the 20th, we had the Young Lion Cup semifinal matches. We had Shoma Kato defeat Masatori Yasuda. Katsuya Murashima defeated Daiki Nagai in the semifinal match. So we're gonna get the finals of Shoma Kato and Katsuya Murashima, as we all kind of figured that it was going to be. The Knockout Brothers of Oscar and Yuto Ice defeated Shota Umino and Tatsuya Matsumoto in 1 minute and 26 seconds. Not much to say there. Tatsuya Matsumoto got the crap beat out of him by the Knockout Brothers, and Shota Umino was not able to, get that under control. Aaron Wolf, Master Wato, Toriyano, and Yo defeated House of Torture members Dick Togo, Evil, Renarita, and Yujiro Takahashi. United Empire's Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, Great Okan, Jake Lee, and Jacob Austin Young, along with Zane J. On their side, they defeated the Unbound Co of Gato, Hiromu Takahashi, Shingo Takagi, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title match. We had the Ichiban Sweet Boys of Kosei Fujita and Robbie Eagles. They defeated the House of Torches, Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, as they retained their IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. And for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, we had Doki retain his championship as he went one-on-one against El Desperado. On to the previews, y'all, for the upcoming week.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start out with Progress Wrestling. We're doing Progress Chapter 189 in Darkest Night. Listen, it is on the 25th. We have Big Damo versus Spike Trivet. We have for the Super Strong Style 16 Women's Tournament 2026 first round match. LA Taylor versus Sapphire Reed. Sorry. We have for the Women's first round tournament match, Sky Smithson versus Anita Vaughn. We have for the men's first round is Kid Lycos II versus Jay Joshua. Progress Tag Team title match. It is Diamond Eyes, Connor Mills and Nico Angelo versus Gene Money and Kuga. Listen, this is gonna be a goofy match when you see Gene Money in it. Progress Atlas title match. Saxton Huttonly versus Axel Tischer. Progress women's title match. Rain Leverkusen. Got that right, didn't I, J News? Oh, look at that. I'm
Yes, you
proud of
did.
myself. Versus Alexis Falcon. We have Progress a world title match. Man like Doris versus Car Noir. Okay. On to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
We have the upcoming Road 2 shows for the New Beginning. On the 28th, which will be on Wednesday. We have Master Wato and Yo versus Masatori Yasuda and Tiger Mask. Katsuya Murashima and Shoma Kato go up against United Empire members Callum Newman and Zane J. Bishima members Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, along with Ola Bolton and Tatsuya Matsumoto, will go up against TMDK members Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita Wright, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. Aaron Wolf, Ryosuke Taguchi, and Toru Yano will go up against House of Torture members Dick Togo, Ren Narita, and Yujiro Takahashi. Shota Umino, Tomoaki Hanma, and Yuya Uemura will be going up against Unbound Co's Gato, Oscar, and Yuto Ice. United Empire's Francesco Akira, Great Okan, Hanare, Jake Lee, and Jacob Austin Young will go up against Unbound Co's Daiki Nagai, Hiromu Takahashi, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji.
Ladies and gentlemen, MLW has a show. I think it's on YouTube if I remember right. But it is Battle Riot. Okay. Battle Riot will take place on the 29th. For the MLW middleweight title match, we have Templario versus Kushida. For the MLW heavyweight title 40-man battle riot match, we have Kruger defending against Austin Aries, Paul London, Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, Okamura, Wolfgang, Jesus Rodriguez. I'm sorry. These names are killing me. Matthew Justice, Kushida, Joe Coffey, Mark Coffey, Bishop Dreyer, Adam Brooks, Mr. Thomas, Anthony Green, Alex Hammerstone, Donovan Dijak, Killer Cross, Templario, Ikuro Kwan. I think I said it right. And Diego Hill. And the rest of the people are not known as of now. But with MLW, you never know who's going to show up for the Battle Riot. Now on to New Japan Pro Wrestling.
More of the New Beginning as they go on the Road 2 shows on the 29th. We're going to have Master Wato and Yo against Shomakato and Tiger Mask. Katsuya Murashima and Masatori Yasuda will go up against United Empire members, the Cradle Khan and Hinare. Bishima and Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi, along with Ola Bolton and Tatsuya Matsumoto, will go up against TMDK's Hartley Jackson, Kosei Fujita, Ryohei Oiwa, and Zack Sabre Jr. Aaron Wolf, Taguchi, Toriano, will go up against House of Torture members Dick Togo, Ren Narita, and Yujiro Takahashi. Shota Umino, Tomoaki Hanma, and Yuya Uemura will go up against Unbound Co's Gato, Oscar, and Yuto Ice. And then United Empire's Callum Newman, Francesco Akira, Jake Lee, Jacob Austin Young, and Dane J will go up against the Unbound Co's Daiki Nagai, Hiromu Takahashi, Robbie X, Taiji Ishimori, and Yota Tsuji. Just wanted to mention one quick thing. If folks haven't noticed over the last two Road to New Beginning cards that I went over, conspicuous by his absence, like Dolores mentioned earlier, is Evil. Seems like Evil's contract has expired with New Japan Pro Wrestling. There's been a lot of rumor and innuendo saying that Evil is on his way to WWE. For all intents and purposes, my opinion on that is good luck to Evil. I don't necessarily know what they're going to do with you over there, brother, but get paid, be with your girlfriend, wife, whatever it is that EO Sky is to you at this point. And yeah, man, good luck to you on that end. It also seems like David Finlay will be on his contract is expiring soon. So is Gabe Kids. Sonata's contract already expired, so he saw himself out after Wrestle Kingdom already. And the biggest rumor that has been bubbling this week about New Japan, a New Japan talent that might be on their way out is Hiromu Takahashi. That's been rumored this week that Hiromu Takahashi's contract is coming up with New Japan and that he's looking at signing elsewhere himself. So we'll see what the New Japan roster looks like going into February after New Beginning. Hopefully they're able to make some signings and re-sign some guys. And we'll see as to where it all shakes out after the New Beginning show come February.
Yes, J News is coming to the back with us. And we're going to move on to HOG House of Glory. On the 30th, we'll be having City of Angels. At this point in the moment, they don't have anything listed online. So we're going to go on to the next show. GCW, Game Changer Wrestling. You already know how I feel about them. And it's time to get crushed up, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't never been crushed up. On the 31st, it's Beastman versus Crew, YDMP, which is Alex Price and Jordan Oliver, along with Ryan O'Neal versus the Spectral, Invery, Frightmare, Hollow Wicked, and Ultra Madness Black. We have Tasha Steeles versus Janai Kai, Rick Blade versus Joey Janela. I'm interested. They got me hooked on this. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, you already know I'm the girl who covers WWE. So you know I'll be having a watch along for the Royal Rumble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, ladies and gentlemen. Look at all these people getting ready to fight. Ladies and gentlemen, also, I said yesterday I was going to do it. I'm going to do it today sometime. The start time is earlier because they're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Luckily, it's not super early. They recognized last time it was too early. So it's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. 11 a.m. Pacific. Sorry, people on the Pacific side. You're going to have to get up early. We have AJ Styles versus Gunther. For the undisputed WWE title match, we have Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. For the Women's Royal Rumble, so far that is listed, Asuka, Bayley, Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, Jordan Grace, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Chelsea Green, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Julia, Laura Valkyria, Roxanne Perez, and Lash Legend. For the Men's Royal Rumble, people that are listed, R-Truth, Rey Mysterio, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Penta, Jacob Fatu, Dragon Lee, Gunther, Solo Sikoa. Now, Gunther, you're going to wrestle twice. But coming, since we're talking about news, coming from this right here, there are speculations that the real one, Enzo Amore, might be in the Royal Rumble, being that he dropped a teaser to the documentary about him going from having his dream job to losing it and the fight and the climb back to get to where he is at now. He's currently overhead working at Fourth Rope. If you have not seen, not necessarily his social media, but his girlfriend's social media, Enzo is a totally different person. And more caring. You get to see his parents. You get to see him working Fourth Rope things. You get to kind of even see him take her from being, as she's described it, a person who did not believe in love into a person who is in this loving relationship. And so I have given him all the props and seeing his progression here, even helping out with Fourth Rope and setting up matches and doing merch stands and doing all these things. He's grown into a good young man. So, with that being said, this is the end. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I know y'all like Delores. You need to have a spotlight. I don't. Okay. As y'all hear me, the spotlight is I need to hold on to my voice. So we're going to go back to the Hit the Rope Studio podcast. Oh, I had J News up there. Because we got to give J News his spotlight, okay? So J News, tell the good people about yourself.
As always, folks, appreciate y'all always watching and tuning in and listening to us here on the Hit the Ropes podcast every Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. as we break everything down for the week that was in pro wrestling. I mean, should I say week? She'll be back next Sunday. Hopefully, Dolores is feeling better by then, and her and things just continue to go as they've been going for us here. That is my QR code there, folks. My socials are on there, be it my Twitter and Instagram. You can also take a look at my Letterboxd account, which has all of my written movie reviews, as I am a big time movie buff and I go to the movie theaters several times a week. Outside of this big ass snowstorm that's been happening over the last 12 hours or so, which will keep me out of the theaters for the beginning of this week. And this weekend, I'll be having some more written reviews coming up in the coming days. But yeah, check me out here on the Hit Roast podcast. I should be on True Heel Heat within the next 2 weeks as we do some previews for New Beginning in New Japan. I'm the New Japan correspondent over on True Heel Heat. So check them out when you get a chance as well. And yeah, that is me in a nutshell for the time being. Appreciate y'all as always, and thank you for chiming in and participating in the chat.
Thank you, Janus. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go over some things with you all because quickly I went over them yesterday. I had a voice yesterday. I woke up this morning and it was like, nope, not gonna be here. So quickly, I got the new thing up for Miss Joy. I know last night I told y'all I was gonna do it, and I did. This is Miss Joy. She does prayer and crafting, and it's out now at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, live. Make sure you come and join. I know this month is decluttering, destashing, and disposing. Listen, as somebody who is a crafter, don't tell nobody that. I slipped up and said that. As somebody who likes crafts, I started to research and do stuff and was like, I need to organize. So behind me are three 50-gallon totes full of arts and crafts. Okay. So your sis had to declutter, dispose, and I'm not gonna destash because I ain't got stuff to give away like that, but you know. Make sure you go check her out and learn about these things. Also, we have a book if you sign up for the decluttering thing where we will have a Zoom, we will talk. If people want to swap things that they want to get rid of, that is a great opportunity. So make sure you go over there and sign up under her declutter the stash video, and you can get your book. And we've talked to somebody recently who said the book helped them. So I really appreciate everybody going out there and checking her out. Ladies and gentlemen, The Educated Natural, theeducatednatural.com/women is how you join the Women's Closet live every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is a place where women can come down and let their hair down. Also, if you want business information or a website built or something, theeducatednatural.com, she's the person for you. And I'm going to say this again and again. I beg 10 in her DMs to please come back to YouTube. Save us. We get ran over the street, Jesus. And she came back, okay? And she's got a membership over there. So if you don't join the membership and she leave YouTube again, I'm gonna drop. Hold on, let me do this solo layer. I'm gonna drop this thing right here and I'm gonna look you in your eyes and I'm gonna say, I was rooting for you. Okay. I was rooting for you. And you know what you did? You dropped the ball. And I ain't gonna never beg for you to get no help again. Okay? So make sure you go to theeducatednatural.com and check out all the things that she has going on. Also, ladies and gentlemen, not that right here. Make sure you check out Miss Shirley the OG Gardner live 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She's dropping gems about life and about gardening. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, she dropped some gems on me the other day, and I'm have to put my tomatoes and stuff in a plot, and I'm gonna take it to the garage or outside. And if you all do not know, I don't want a garden outside. I just want to be a hydroponic baby. But you know what? I'm gonna put my big girls on because Miss Shirley done gave me the power, and I'm gonna go and do it. Okay. But Miss Shirley, OG Gardner, she gives you life advice. She gives you just everything you need to start anything. You can get the advice in Miss Shirley's the OG Gardner's chat. So make sure you check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, the person who does AEW content and the person ALW you saw earlier, he's one of the parents. See, it's ALW and CM, the parents of the Workers Wrestling Network. Then you got Sammy and Anika. They're the children. You never know what they're going to say, okay? What they're going to do, what they're going to say, I don't know. And I pray every day, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check the Workers Wrestling Network out. Go over there. Yell up on over there to Workers Wrestling Network. Jaleel757, the best moderator, especially over there in Twitch. He be over there fighting for his life for me. I appreciate it, Jaleel. And the best gamer. Make sure you check out Jaleel757. Listen, I keep saying it. I'm going to get back gaming online because I enjoy whooping people live and direct. But I'm coming back. Just give me some time. Just give me some time. I'll be back. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Slim Jim Longfoot. That's his personal social media. Gets his channel and the other social medias he got. But I can tell you something about Slim Jim Longfoot. He writes books. He makes comics. He draws. He's the greatest. Okay. And if you want to get one of his comic books, him and his friend Johnny Quest Gaming has the studio, UGI Studios, based out here in the ATL. And they make great comic books. So make sure you check that out. Again, I don't have it in here. I don't know why. Let me see. Give me a second, y'all. Because, Dolores does not do anything normal. I will be here next Saturday, 2 p.m. for the Royal Rumble in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Okay? So make sure you come and check it out. We're going to have games. We're going to have fun watching it together for those who can because it's on ESPN Plus. For y'all, I throw that $30 down and 30 something dollars down. And I was like, for my people, I have to keep it going. Also, shout out to my nephew because he also was like, yep, you got to keep it going. Ladies and gentlemen, if you do not know, I'm Delores from Delores Designs. Okay? I'm just a pink girl in my pink world, here to upgrade your world one step at a time. From technology to graphics to so much more, I am here for you. So please check me out. If you want to get in contact with me, this is how you get in contact with me. Again, for the new people, that's a number to get to me. That all means that's my number, okay? Shout out. Also, shout out to Xfinity for not bringing me my new phone. FedEx for losing it and not wanting to find it. Shout out to them. This is my QR code in a bigger form. And this is me. And this is me and J News together. Okay? Because we come together every Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern, sometimes a little later, sometimes a little early. Okay? To give you the review and preview and professional wrestling. Okay? And I must say, I appreciate J News a lot because J News has taught me a lot about wrestling. I also appreciate that when people come, they be like, "Where's J News? What he missing?" And I'll be out there like, "So you just don't see me, you don't see me at all." I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna go cry in the car because y'all don't care about me. Y'all just care about J News. It's okay. It's okay. But ladies and gentlemen, you know what time is it? It's time for me. J News don't act a fool. He's sophisticated. But I'm about to act a fool. Ladies and gentlemen, just like Seth Rollins, we burn it down every time we come in to Hit the Ropes Podcast studio. And baby girl, baby boy, I know you see that fire, but please, please, please put your clothes on because I ain't trying to see all that. But I got something that'll help you. That'll help cool you off. And that's if we cut the lights off. Cut out the lights. But don't light that candle because this is how we got caught up in the first place, okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we'll see you next week. You have a great week. And until then, peace.